Hello people, it's your boy Osman back again with another video. This time we have recorded the weekly podcast. This is going to be every Sunday and I will be uploading it every Monday, so stay tuned on the channel. Make sure you subscribing and dropping a like. This show is all about talking about Premier League football and of course that race for the top 4 with rival fans. If you're interested in getting yourself involved, let a brother know in the comment section. We might be able to arrange that. Today's episode has got a Liverpool fan on, Man City fan, no, a Chelsea fan, and of course a Spurs fan in preparation for the game on Friday. That aside, we have got another video coming tomorrow, which will be the preview for the Spurs game, and of course we have got a video on Thursday and the big one on Friday. Apart from that, hopefully you enjoy the video. Drop a like, subscribe.
Start with the biggest game for us lot, which of course is Man United against Tottenham Hotspur. You know, it's quite clear Bakker supports Chelsea, unless he's been bribed to wear that shirt. That's it. So it's quite an important game for you as well, Bakker, to be fair, because obviously you know both teams are trying to get your top 4 spot. We'll start with you, Bakker, because of course you're the neutral. Well, are you the neutral?
I don't think neutral as possible, to be honest.
I don't think you're neutral, Kish. What do you reckon?
They've got too much up top for Spurs. It'll be a close game, don't get me wrong. I think Mourinho will play neutral. He won't try attacking, he won't try parking the bus, he'll try going for the first goal. But I think Man United, the midfield's improved massively. Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. I don't know who Mourinho is going to play in midfield. It's probably going to be 2 CDMs, probably Winks and Eric Dyer, but I don't know why. But I think Man United is going to outplay and up front and create more chances.
Okay, that's interesting that you mentioned Winks and Dyer. Gish, for me personally, I don't think Dyer is going to play. I would assume it'd be Winks and Sissoko. Obviously, as a Spurs fan yourself,
Sissoko was massively important for us before he got injured as well, and he's probably one of our most improved players. I think a couple of seasons ago, including myself, everyone said that he was finished. He wasn't supposed to suit our team. And fair play to him. He's worked at it, and I think a lot of it was down to Pochettino. And it does seem as well before he got injured that Mourinho seemed to really like him. So we'll see what happens. But I would be amazed if Sissoko doesn't start at the CDM position.
But he is.
I think it depends on the lineup. To be honest, I don't know who Spurs are going to play out wide, but I think Man United have got too much pace up front. Evening, they've got a good defence as well.
It depends who he starts. Again, you're right. I think if you'd asked me this game, say just before the cancellation 2.5 months ago, I'd say we'd be lucky for a draw. To be honest, Man United were on a roll, like a massive roll. Games after games, Bruno Fernandes had his impact. But now, I think it changes the whole picture because it's going to be like a pre-season game to start off with, because you just can't match that intensity that it was at beforehand. And I think it couldn't have come at a better time for us. I think out of everyone in the league, I think we have probably benefited from it the most in terms of injuries, because we had Kane injured, we had Vertonghen injured, we had half of our centre midfield injured, we had Son who broke his elbow, Bergwijn got injured as well just beforehand. So we had about 6-7 injuries. Dele Alli was injured as well. So they're all back now. So I think it changes it completely, because before that, who would we have started? Lucas Moura would have played up top on his own with Lo Celso. Bergwijn was injured, so he wouldn't have played. Sissoko was injured, so he wouldn't have played. And Dembele was injured, so he wouldn't have played. We would have literally played kids in centre mid. But I think now it makes a big difference for Man United. I think Man United would much rather play against Lucas Moura or Troy Parrott up front than Harry Kane. That's simple.
Wasser said agrees with Bakker. He's saying United are way too strong. Of course, you've alluded to the injuries prior to the pandemic. I think it's inevitable that Man United would have been the favourites going into that game prior to given your situation. I think Pogba was actually just fit.
Man United, I think my brother, he watches Ali. He's a Man United fan, I think McTominay, Pogba and Bruno Fernandes will be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. McTominay does a lot of work, he's underrated, and then you got Paul Pogba that can play the box-to-box role, and Bruno Fernandes just gets up and link up the play with Martial and Rashford and James. There's serious pace up top with Man United, and they're scared at the moment, so I'm going Man United.
Yeah, that's it. Then you've also got to think that with Man United's players, especially the players that got injured, so the likes of Martial and Rashford, it's not going to be easy for them to get into the high intensity of the league straight away. Especially with someone like Rashford who had a bad injury. He was out for probably going to be out for the rest of the season, wasn't he, Osman, before this?
Keishan.
I think the difference is Harry Kane is a fantastic hold-up player, but Harry Maguire's got a physical presence. You can handle the physicality, but I don't think Spurs have got the pace of the back to deal with that front three, to be honest.
Yeah.
Too much space up front for Spurs to handle. But
and that's another one for us. You know, we've got Ben Davies back. I know Aurier was sort of not doing anything for us. Attacking wise, he's great. Defensively, he's not. But I think the fact that we've got our team back as well, and this is a player that no one really talks about. Tanganga. Before all of this stuff, he was the only positive that we had from the Mourinho era so far. The fact that he came through the ranks and he actually looked really, really impressive. So we'll see. I mean, I'm a lot more confident now than I was before. And if you'd asked me this question a couple of months ago to say, do we have any chance? I would have said no chance at all. But now with our full squad back, if you look at our first 11 fully fit compared to Man United's fully fit first 11, there's not a massive difference. There isn't. You can't say to me that there's a huge difference in teams at the moment. So if you look at it at first 11, I'm not saying as a whole, I'm saying it as a first 11, there's not a massive difference.
I think the only difference is Man United, the youthful side, and they've got more pace. But it depends what line Spurs play, to be honest. I'm not sure how Mourinho is going to play. He confused. Sometimes you play attacking teams, and you might not even play an attacking midfielder. I won't be surprised if he goes up full flat 3 CMs.
Yeah, and I watched your podcast, Osman, as well the other day on YouTube, and one of the guys that was involved, he said that if you ever want someone in a one-game situation, add any manager in world football, and I agree. On a one-game sort of specification, there's no better manager than Mourinho, as only on a one-game basis, and I think he would love it to come back and on that one game to sort of get a result against you guys.
But is my mic working?
It's working, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
It wasn't working, alright. My bad, apologies. I was talking, I was like, yeah, just regarding what you said, chairs make squeaky noise. Yeah, just regarding what you've said, I do agree with a lot of you said. In terms of pace up front, I think that's where we're going to hate you, because obviously we know that your fullbacks aren't particularly good. Obviously, Vertonghen and Alderweireld will get on a bit as well. If this was a couple of years back, I would have been panicking a bit more in terms of your defence, because obviously your defence was probably the best in the league at one point, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, at one point. Yeah, it was only 2-3 years ago.
Yeah,
really.
it wasn't a long time ago. But I do agree. What we're going to do, we're going to do a score prediction. We'll move on. Because obviously I don't want to dwell on this too much, because of course there's a lot to talk about. I've actually gone for a draw here, and I'd probably take a draw, because like you said prior to the break, I was expecting us to beat you hands down. But given the players that you've come back, and I don't know how Pogba and Bruno are going to go, you know, I don't know how the chemistry is going to be in the first game. It's a difficult game.
I don't think he'll start with Pogba, in my opinion. I really don't. With him being out for such a long time, I would highly doubt if he would change it, based upon the fact that before all this kicked off, that same team were getting you results. So I don't know if you might bet him in.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's difficult, because obviously we just lost to West Brom. I know it doesn't mean anything, it's just a friendly, but we just lost to West Brom, and you know, McTominay and Fred have been so influential in our success this season, and it's likely that both of them aren't going to play. And I just don't know how that's going to upset the balance of the team. So for me, I'm going to go for a draw. Baka, what are your thoughts?
I'm going for Man United 3-1.
Okay, interesting. My brother's gone for 3-1 as well to United. Kish, what are your thoughts?
We need to win this game if we've got any chance of the top four. So I'm going to go for 2-1 today.
Okay, fair enough. You are a home as well, but obviously it remains to be seen if the home advantage is still a thing, given the way the German leagues panned out. That it doesn't seem like it's a thing anymore. Okay, let's move on to another big game. Arsenal fans would obviously say they're the underdogs going into this game, and of course it's a free hit. Baka, we'll start with you first. Arsenal against Manchester City. What are your thoughts going into this game on the Wednesday?
I think Arsenal fans first game Brighton are looking forward to it, to be honest, because the defence is just. When I watch Arsenal play, they're good on the ball, but defensive, they show off too quick. And Man City got the quality, KDB, Bernardo Silva, Aguero to punish it. So I think Man City should win that game comfortably. I'd go for like 3-1. Arsenal might get the one goal, but I'd go 3-1. City.
Interesting. What are your thoughts, Kish? Obviously, another North London rival of yours.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because it's another one. Before the pandemic, Arsenal were actually doing okay. They weren't doing, majorly impressive, but they were consistent in their results. You know, a couple of wins, a couple of draws. So Arteta was starting to do well. The only problem is what Baka said. Their defence is shocking, and I think the fact that they'll have no fans as well to be there. It'll be one of those where I feel like they need fans to cheer them on. Their defence switch off so quickly, especially when you've got the likes of David Luiz in that team. You can switch off just like that. So I think without the fans, I reckon they will struggle the most, Arsenal, in my opinion.
That's interesting you say that. Obviously, it's at Man City Stadium, anyways. Of course, they're notoriously don't have fans anyway, so they'll be used to playing in this
doesn't really matter
circumstance
anyway,
week in week out and play like this.
I think the big issue is with Arsenal in midfield. I think if they play Xhaka and Guendouzi in midfield, Man City with Gundogan and KDB and Bernardo Silva, they just.
The thing is with Arsenal, they've got potential though. If you look at their team, the average age of their squad isn't that bad. I mean, they've got some good young players. Guendouzi, in my opinion, will be a top CDM in a couple of years' time. You know, I think Torreira's a very good CDM as well. They've not got bad players. It's just their defence is shocking. It is shocking.
They lack mentality, they lack character. Most of the players, that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying in terms of their midfield is very, very weak. We're seeing my brother Was has gone for 5-0 to Man City.
Wow.
Obviously, like you've said regarding the midfield, I wouldn't actually play Guendouzi. Actually, I'd play Torreira. I don't think Torreira gets enough credit for me. I think he's massively underrated, and he hasn't really been utilised. I think Arteta was just starting to get the best out of him. Sorry.
Do you think he'll play Ozil? Do you think he'll start Ozil in the game?
I don't think he would.
Who would you play in a replacement of Ozil then, Baka?
You need creativity. If he's not going to play, who's going to be the creative spark in that team?
No idea, but I don't think Arteta will play Ozil, but he's way quick because Ozil is a fantastic attacking player. But Man City, you need people that push.
Who's that guy that they've got on loan from Madrid? What's his name?
Ceballos.
Danny Ceballos.
Ceballos. What about him?
He's not going to play there.
But either way you look at it, left back they got Saka, who's young. So he's inexperienced. Raheem Sterling 1-on-1 probably beat him 7 out of 10 times. But if they play Krasnach there, then it's over. Xhaka doesn't work hard enough in midfield. I can't see Arsenal keeping the ball more than Man City, so they have to work extra hard. And so I think Man City.
You say that, but Man City they've got a lot to prove, the players, because you talked about Sterling. Sterling's not turned up, I think, since the first 2 months of the season. And Osman, I'm sure me and you said this a few times as well. His bad form has been unnoticed because before this break, he was terrible.
Statistically,
he struggled for quite a few games.
Yeah, statistically, he's done well. If you look at his stats for the season, he's actually done well. But if you actually look at his performances, they've not been of the caliber you'd expect of Sterling prior to the pandemic. So,
bear in mind that Sterling was playing on the right hand side essentially, but Sané's been injured. Sterling has a swap, and Mahrez is on the right. So he swapped positions. So I don't know. I think Man City are going to try to pressurise Liverpool, but I think they'll win the game comfortably, Man City.
Okay, let's do some score predictions because we've still got to discuss the Sheffield United Aston Villa game. So Kish, we'll start with you this time. What do you reckon?
4-1 Man City.
Baka, your thoughts?
I'm being generous. I'm saying 3-1. I think Pep Guardiola will have some respect for Arteta, so 3-1.
He's going to have mercy on him. Yeah, to be fair, Baka, I was going to go 3-1 as well, actually. I don't know why. I do feel Arsenal will score. I would assume it's either going to be Aubameyang or Lacazette. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Of course, a lot of Arsenal fans go into this game with an open mind. You know, prior to the break, Manchester City did lose to Man United. Obviously, finishing 2-0, so they haven't got anything to play for as well, Man City. So it'll be interesting to see how they come back. Because obviously Arsenal have got everything to play for. That meant, you know, they're going to have a bit more desire to go out there. You saw against Man United early in the season, you know, Arsenal had everything to play for and the Blues out of the water, and I wasn't expecting that performance. So potentially it could be another case of that. But I agree with you guys. I think Man City will be too strong, especially midfield. Arsenal haven't got enough legs. Okay, let's move on to the last preview, and then obviously we'll talk Liverpool and Chelsea in the second half of the show. Obviously we're all from Sheffield, so we all know the club well enough. Sheffield United currently sat in 6th position. I believe they're 1 point behind Man United. In fact, 2 points behind Man United, I think. With the game in hand, is against Aston Villa. If they win the game, they go into 5th. A lot of people have kind of disregarded Sheffield United in this whole top 4 race. You know, as a lot of people do, you know, obviously when you see that sort of team, that you think that they're going to fall off. But Sheffield United, to be fair to them, have been competitive in every single game that I've seen them play this season. So I don't think you can write them off too easy. Baka, what are your thoughts? Sheffield United, Aston Villa.
I think Chris Wilder's done a fantastic job. Sheffield United, they haven't got the technical players like compared to the rest of the teams, but they put the shift in. They work very hard, and they got moves here on behind. But I'm sceptical about the game, man. I shouldn't be saying this, but I think Aston Villa just lack a little bit more quality. So I'm going to Aston Villa to win the game.
Really? Wow, that does surprise me actually. Kish, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, see, this if anything for United is a bigger game than if they were playing someone else in the top 6, because this is a team that, if you look at it on paper, they should be beating comfortably at the moment, and this is where the pressure comes, because United will probably have most of the ball, and will they have that creative spark to create those sort of chances? Because Aston Villa have got someone in Grealish who can create something out of nothing, and I feel like they've got a lot more to play for at the moment in the league than what United do, because this is their game in hand. If they win their game in hand, they're above the relegation zone, and that puts West Ham in it. So I think there's a lot more in this. For me personally, I think it's going to be a very, very tough game for United.
But I agree it will be a tough game, but I don't agree that they have more to play for. You've got to remember, a lot of the Sheffield United players probably wouldn't have dreamed of even playing in Europe, let alone Champions League. So they've got everything to play for. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of these players to play in Champions League football. You know, and there's a strong chance they will get drawn against a Barcelona, Bayern Munich or Real Madrid, because obviously they'll be in a lower seed. So I don't agree that Aston Villa have more to play for. I understand where you're coming from, because of course they're trying to avoid relegation, but don't underestimate the heart and desire from the Sheffield United players, as you've seen time and time again. So for that reason, I'm actually going to say Sheffield United to win 2-1. Obviously we've gone for 3 different results there. We've gone for win, draw and loss. So obviously one of us is going to be right. So that's always a positive. So that's my personal opinion. Let's move on to Chelsea. Of course, we have got a lot to discuss, hence why we are going through it as quick as we possibly can. Baka, of course, you're the resident Chelsea fan. We'll start with you. We'll not talk about transfer talk. Nina's going to be coming on in the second half of the show, so a lot of the players you're linked to, of course, Liverpool are linked to them as well, so we'll talk as a collective there. Let's talk about Frank Lampard and coming back into, you know, what is basically the business, and what are your thoughts back going into the last 9 games?
I think Chelsea have got a few players back. We've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek looking fantastic. I know he's probably training in pre-season, but not really. It's kind of pre-season, but Pulisic is recovered from the back injury that he's had. He's been a massive miss for us. Mason Mount's been playing that wide most of the time, so I think Pulisic will bring that pace. He played fantastic for us at the start of the season, and then everyone assumed Frank Lampard didn't like him, but he had issues with his lower back, so he's fully fit. We've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek back, who gives us goals from midfield, but he also frees up Mason Mount. Mason Mount can always drop into the attacking role. So I'm looking forward to Chelsea coming back. I think we need to address the defence. It still needs improving, but I think Chelsea should do well. I hope, fingers crossed, that we should be able to get enough points to secure top 4.
What are your thoughts, Kish? Obviously, Baka's alluded to some of the players coming back. For me personally, Baka, you know this, I'm a massive fan of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I think he's. We don't say this a lot with English players, but I think he's actually underrated. I don't think a lot of people appreciate the work he does.
The problem is with him, though, Osman, is I think he needs a move for his career, because he's not young anymore. You know, he's about 20. Is he 25, 26, something like that?
Surely not. Is he 25?
Yeah, I think he is going up in age now. You know, and I think he needs to decide: is he going to be in Chelsea's first team? In my opinion, especially with the additional signings, I don't think he will. So then he's got to realise in his career, does he want to be a squad player, or does he want to go somewhere and play? And I really think at the end of the season, he'll have to make a very, very important decision for his own career.
What are your thoughts regarding that then, Baka? Because he's saying obviously he needs to potentially move. He's 24 actually.
24, yeah, checking that as well. I think he'll get the chances to play her. Our midfield, Lampard's never played a consistent midfield. He's always swapped you around, be Jorginho, Kovacic, Barkley, Mount the player there, so he'll get the chance. But I agree with Kishan said, depending on who we bring in, he might not have a future at Chelsea, but it depends who goes out. But I think he's a fantastic player out of the club. He brings physical presence that we lack in midfield. He's technically good. He scores goals. He's strong, and he likes to shoot. So I think Frank Lampard will keep him. I can't see him going, to be honest.
Okay, that's fair enough. After the break, we will be talking more Chelsea as well as Liverpool and discussing the score predictions for this weekend. Boys, we'll be back in a few minutes. Stay on the line. Obviously, I'll get you back in at 30 past, or 8:30, should I say.
Go.
Okay, so after the break, we will be talking to Nina as alongside the boys, so feel free to get your questions in below. We'll be back at 8:30. Just prior to the break, we was talking about Chelsea. Baka, we'll just let you finish off with Chelsea, because obviously they've got a game coming up as well against Aston Villa. Prior to that game, what are your thoughts on the midfield? We spoke about Ruben Loftus-Cheek prior to the break. But what are your thoughts? What would you do for the midfield three?
I think Jorginho has to play with the way Lampard's. He's trying to replicate the way Guardiola plays, lifestyle, and he's just upgrading Saudi's football. So Jorginho's no brainer. His job when rolling that team is massively underrated, linking up the play. Kovacic alongside him. In Cam, I would play Mason Mount because he's a creative player for us, and maybe even Ruben Loftus-Cheek, but out wide. We talk about the midfield there. That's my midfield. Jorginho, Kovacic, and Mason Mount.
So no Kante then?
No, Kante's not been training properly. He was given time off, and it wasn't well throughout the season. I know he played bits here and there, but I don't think Frank Lampard will throw Kante into a game yet. I think maybe later on he might bring him on for a run around, but I don't think he'll play.
Okay, that's interesting. Kish, what are your thoughts? What would you do if you were Frank Lampard?
I think for them in general at the moment they've got. I think I know we're going to allude to this sort of upcoming on the show, but I think just having the new signings that they're going to have, I think for the team it gives them a bit more impetus and gives them a bit more to go for. So I think in terms of the squad in general, they're going to have quite a bit of uplift. So I think whoever plays, they're going to kind of be upbeat and confident. And so there's other players as well in that team, like Willian, who've probably got things to prove before, if he is trying to get another contract or whatever. But I do feel that their players will be a lot more hungrier than they were before this happened.
What are your thoughts on that, Baka? Willian to get another contract?
I'm sceptical. I think Lampard might just keep him, but I'm hearing a lot of rumours he might be used as a way because he's aging. He's been a fantastic servant. I've spoke about Willian. I've not been his biggest fan, but I think when we get the few new signings coming in, I don't see him being at Chelsea for any longer. He probably will see the season out and probably go somewhere. I don't know where. As long as he doesn't go on Spurs, I'm not really bothered this month.
Let's talk about the left back position because you have been linked to Chilwell. We were trying to get Nina on. I don't know if she's watching or not, but for some reason the phone line's not working. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hopefully we can get that fixed in the next few minutes or so. But let's talk about the left back position, Baka, because there's something we've spoken about a while, obviously between ourselves. What are your thoughts on Chilwell? Would you be interested in him?
Yeah, I think Chelsea. I've always rated Chilwell. I think he's got the experience. He's played in Premier League. He does a fantastic job going up and back. I've read some rumours that he's number one target, but if we don't go for him, we'll go for the left back of Bayer Leverkusen. But I think last choice, I'll happily take Kurzawa or PSG in a transfer and save the money.
Would you take him?
It's possible, but I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I can't see Brendan Rodgers selling Chilwell, and if he does sell Chilwell, he won't be.
Well, the fee, associated with Chilwell is roughly 60 million. Do you think he's worth that, Kish?
No, not in my opinion. But I suppose if you base it on the fact that it was only a couple of years ago when Man City paid 50 million for Kyle Walker, then I think on today's market, yes. But then again, there's so many different ways because with the pandemic, players' value shouldn't be the same as that. So in today's market, I won't pay any more than 30-40 million for him. But before this, would you pay 60 million for Chilwell? Probably yes. He's English. He's young. He's got good Premier League experience. I don't know if he played in the Champions League when Leicester were in the Champions League that season or not. But he's got very good experience as a player. So I do see why a team in the top end of the league would want him. But I think a lot of teams will go for him. It won't just be Chelsea.
Agreed. And I think the 60 million, I don't think the money is an issue because how I see it is Emerson Alonso will be sold to recoup that money. I'm
Yeah.
hearing just and Inter Milan happy to pay 30 million for Emerson, which is fantastic for us. 30 million for him, and then if we could sell Alonso for maybe looking to get 10 million for that guy, to be honest. But yeah, see what happens.
Well, Thingy's going as well, isn't he? What's his name? Moses. Victor Moses to Inter Milan. So that's
Surely Inter will be interested in Alonso. He was pivotal in, Conte's season and win the league.
He was, yeah, but he's fantastic going forward. Simon, we spoke about it. He can't get back. He's not fast enough. And when he does get back, because he's always known for attack, he doesn't know about defence. So he's dragging out one of our centre backs all the time. And when Conte played the three at the back, he's fine. When someone pushed across, it's okay. They're covering, but now they're playing with two centre backs. It's leaving a massive space open for us. So he needs to either play in midfield. I'm happy for him to go play in the holding midfield, do what you want there. But I left the back, we need him better.
So, well, obviously there's no space for him in midfield. What's the same 40 million max for Chilwell? I suppose that does make sense. I just can't see them selling him. I can't see them selling him for less than that, to be quite honest with you guys. Let's talk about another person you've been linked with. Of course, Timo Werner. The speculation surrounding Werner to Chelsea. You know what my thoughts on that are. What would you say to that, Kish, if they were to get Werner?
I think it's an unbelievable signing, in my opinion. I think it's a player of a good age. I think he's 23, 24. His goal-scoring record, not just his goal-scoring record, but even his assists and his work rate in Germany has been phenomenal. And I think the last couple of sort of players that have come from Germany, particularly in an advanced role, have performed really well in the Premier League. And I think he's got all the attributes that you need to be a top player. And he's Germany's number one striker as well. So at the moment, he is a top player for a fee. If it's reported to say what it is, I use buyout clause. Even in today's market, even with everything going on, I think he's a player that there's also sell-on value. Even if in a couple of years that Chelsea decide to sell him, he's at that age where I cannot possibly see a loss apart from one player in the Chelsea team, and that's players such as Abraham. Because he's a young striker, was doing well beforehand. So be interesting to see what happens.
What are your thoughts, Baka? I know you're a massive fan of his. Do you think it's possible that they can get this deal over the line?
Sorry, I think, what did you say? You're talking about Timo Werner, Abraham?
Yeah, I know you're a massive fan of his. Do you think you can get the deal over the line?
I think we can, but we need to hurry up because I know Julian Nagelsmann said I can't keep him, he's going. But you never know with football what's going to happen. And I know Keishan said he's a fantastic player, and I watch Werner play a lot. But his style of play to our style of play, it's going to take him a while to adjust. He scored the goals, but I don't think he's a player that's got the patience because he likes fast play. Leipzig play counter-attacking football. With Chelsea, we keep the ball. And it's frustrating when you keep your possession play and not getting chances. So we'll see how it goes. But I think it's fantastic business because we sold Morata for 59 million and we're buying Werner for 10 million cheaper. So I hope we get the guy.
It's obviously it'll be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully, Nina, you can hear us now.
I can, yes.
Oh,
it would not be a live show without technical issues.
you know everything about the technical issues, of course. Perfect timing, actually. Talking about Timo Werner, as a Liverpool fan yourself, what are your thoughts regarding the rumours? Are you interested in getting him at Liverpool or?
Well, you know what? It's a funny thing, rumours, right? Because you see it all over Twitter. You get a bit tired of it. He is a fabulous player, by the way. And I just heard your colleague speaking about him and his style of football and how Leipzig play, and he would really, really suit us. However, it looks like he's eager to have that move, and it looks like he will be going to Chelsea. It's an absolute blow for Liverpool, but I think Liverpool, where they are right now, when we kind of think about a player, the owners now and the board of directors, they operate them differently. So anything that we kind of see on social media, there's a reason, and it's usually smoke screen. So the hotter the rumours got, the more I thought we're not going to get him. It's fantastic business for Chelsea. I do agree he's going to need some time. I think fans need to be patient. But I'm absolutely gutted because he would have been a nice little inclusion to kind of rotate the Salah and Mane because he's a wide forward. Would have suited us perfectly.
Yeah, I do. Obviously, it's quite evident that the Liverpool are going to win the league. I do think you need to improve the squad a bit because obviously, we've seen with Man United in the past, Ferguson always said you have to go again next season. And do you feel like with Klopp, he doesn't really have the funds because there's a potential Coutinho might come back. Obviously, on a loan. There's also interest in Kai Havertz as well, who's a fantastic player. And I just feel like you're missing that sort of dynamism in the middle of the park. I know you love Henderson, but do you feel like there's something like that missing from your team?
I think for me, there's certain players that will be leaving this summer, and the likes of Divock Origi, Adam Lallana will be going, although I don't really rate him all so much. I think you know this. But you're right. I think when you look at the bench, you need some kind of inspiration. And for me, what I find is the 11s that play are absolutely fabulous. I think in midfield we have some really good options. I'm quite happy with the midfield now. I think Fabinho has been a massive inclusion. I think Gini Wijnaldum is such an unsung hero. The front three are an absolute freak of nature because they actually don't get injured. I know two of them were missing for the Barcelona game last season, but as a whole, they are freak of nature in terms of how they stay fit. But with the AFCON, that we're moving it now, it won't be next year, it'll be the following year. But you're right. I look at the bench, and we definitely need players. I think the way Klopp is going is the likes of Timo Werner will not be happy sitting on the bench.
Yeah, absolutely
I
not.
think we've got to be quite realistic about these things. And I think what he's going to go for is like younger players who want to be part of something special. Like we've got Minamino now, which was fabulous business by Liverpool. I mean, he absolutely was scary to play against. I watched him live. He is devastating, and those kind of players are what I think Jurgen Klopp is going to go for, where they're good, but they're quite happy to kind of integrate. I think you're spot on. I think Jurgen Klopp needs to have a squad and a dynamite of a squad in terms of you were playing the FA Cup, you were playing the Champions League, and the Champions League team will play in the league.
I completely agree in terms of Werner not wanting to sit on the bench. I think that's kind of a problem similar to what obviously Man United would link him as well.
See, that's where I disagree with that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, go on then, Gish.
The way I see it is the fact that Werner has said since January, even before that he's wanted to go to Liverpool. He said that all along. He's also known the competition that they have at Liverpool. He's mentioned it many, many times that with that front three with Salah, Mane and Firmino, it would be difficult for him to disrupt that. He's mentioned it in many interviews. And yet, even after all of this, he's still pretty much been begging to come to Liverpool. Mm-hmm. So it's not as if it's a player that knows that by coming to Liverpool, he doesn't know the competition that he's going to be under. And I think, personally, Liverpool have missed a trick there. For a player of his quality.
I understand what you're saying, but then why would Liverpool pay 53 million or whatever the buyout clause is for a player to sit on the bench?
It's 49 million. Yeah, and for someone of his age and his quality, every top team needs to have players of quality in that squad. If you look at players like Mane as well, Mane and Salah have the African Cup of Nations. Firmino can actually play as a number 10 because when you actually sign him, he was a centre forward or a cam. So there is actually room for Werner. I just think with Klopp, what he said in a lot of his interviews, he said that Liverpool have to be tactical in the transfer market because they don't actually have the funds that other teams do, which, to be honest, doesn't actually surprise me because when they spent the big money, I think it was the season before last season, it was from the Coutinho money that they spent that money on. Yeah. They've never actively spent a huge amount of money without getting any money coming to them through sole players. So I do actually appreciate the fact that they might not have the funds to pay that kind of money, which I know it might sound surprising, but they might actually not. So, because this pandemic has probably hit everyone, every single football club. So maybe it's just a case that they can't afford it.
I don't think that's the case. I think the reason why Werner chose Chelsea or Liverpool is because he knew that.
Oh, see, whoa, 1 second. Baka, are you accepting that he's going to Chelsea now?
Timo Werner. And I think Liverpool have to be tactical. They need to spend the money in the position like left back and right back. If Robbo and Arnold get injured, who's going to play there? So I think the reason why Werner chose Chelsea or Liverpool is because
I don't think he chose Chelsea though. If Liverpool and Chelsea both paid his buyout clause, do you really think he would have gone to Chelsea?
I personally think yes, he would have, because he's got the opportunity under a young manager who will give him the chance. He won't be on the bench. And Liverpool, like Usman says, they put about 200 crosses in a game. And Werner's not a physical player. I watched him play. He's a player that likes the ball to feet. He can drift out wide, and I think Chelsea's style of play will suit him. And there's a potential of Chelsea got Ziyech in the body sorted. And I know you said every club's hit by the pandemic, but for what I'm hearing, Chelsea's got a lot of money to spend.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Nina, obviously we've touched upon, the Firmino role, when he was at Hoffenheim, he had that sort of floating role. For me personally, obviously as a Man United fan, I'm over the moon that you're not going to sign him. I'll be honest with you, like, I think the one, I'm not going to lie to you, Nina. The thing is, no, but the reason being is because it gives you so much flexibility, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I think Liverpool have been fantastic this season. I actually thought you played better football last season when you didn't win the league. Obviously, it's evident you won the league this year. I just think you might fall into the category that you might become a bit predictable. In terms of the way you play, obviously Werner gives you something a complete different, dynamic, so to speak, in your attacking sort of outlet. You've said that he won't sit on the bench, but like Keishan said, it's quite clear he wants to play for Klopp. I don't know if it's so much Liverpool, but obviously Klopp, he's charismatic, he's German as well, and what he's done for the German football as well, winning the league with Borussia Dortmund, obviously Bayern Munich have been dominant for so many years, so as a kid he would have seen that, and obviously that's something that he's probably thought, no, I want to play for Klopp. So I personally do think you missed out, and I'm absolutely buzzing with that. Let's talk about another player that's linked to both yourselves and Chelsea, Coutinho. We'll come to you first, Nina, because obviously I know how much you used to love Coutinho anyways, before you left, of course. What are your thoughts, because he's been massively linked to you? In fact, it's been linked to all three of your teams, actually. I think he's been linked to Spurs as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was linked to Man United as well. I'm not sure why, they just put our name and everything.
Coutinho tried to sign him last summer, didn't he, with Dybala?
Yeah, well, obviously we know what happened with the ball. Nina, we'll come to you first. What are your thoughts? Would you take him back on a loan?
You know what, I would. Don't get me wrong, his departure really upset me, but, I think what you've got here is a player that understands the system, knows Jurgen Klopp, has played with that front three. We know that he works a treat with that front three. Also, Coutinho would add something else into that midfield. We can kind of change up the formation. We could play like a diamond up top with him being the tip. It gives that top flexibility. You spoke about us maybe being a little predictable. We can change up the front formation. Another thing as well, where Coutinho would absolutely thrive is the first time ever he will be playing with a solid defence, because as you all know, he funded Van Dijk and of course...
Skittle's no longer there, is he? The legend.
Oh gosh, the king of own goal.
Oh, Skittle and Moreno, what a combination that was. I miss those days, Nina. I miss it, man. Bring it back.
I know.
Oh God, Baka, what are your thoughts? Would you take it? I know you're a massive fan of his as well, but at the same time, you're a massive fan of Barcelona, and I'm sure of everyone here, you probably know more than all of them in terms of how he's got on there.
I wouldn't take Coutinho at Chelsea, not even on loan, to be honest.
Wow.
I don't think his mindset's right for us, and I don't think Lampard wants him as a Chelsea player, because I can't see him fitting into our team. And I know you might think, well, that's madness. He's a fantastic player, but his work rate at Barcelona, I know he's playing with superstars, but his work rate at Barcelona has been poor. He reminds me of what Alex Song said. I couldn't care less if I didn't play for Barcelona. They make him rich, and I think that's why he's took that move. And he'd love to go back to Liverpool. I know he would.
He's begging for it, isn't he?
I don't see him at Chelsea, to be honest. And I don't want him at Chelsea, to be honest. And
free kicks and stuff, he could be really lethal for Liverpool in that aspect.
Yeah, true, actually. Especially on Van Dijk's side. He's already scored enough goals. To be fair, he's not going to be better than Trent. Trent's unbelievable at delivery, isn't he? Let's be honest. That corner might have happened if Coutinho was at your team. Trent.
This is very true. Yeah.
So I wish he was still there all this time. I celebrate when Coutinho got sold. Goodness sake. Anyways, let's talk about Man City briefly for one of their fans that might be watching this. Of course, there's a lot of speculation at the moment regarding Manchester City and potentially the ban that will obviously affect their club and also potentially boost a lot of the clubs around it, in particular Liverpool and their dominance. Kish, we'll come to you first regarding what this would mean for the other teams in the league. What do you reckon if Man City were to get banned? What would it mean for the rest of the teams?
Of course. I think a lot of players will rethink their careers. I know Sterling has already said that he would still stay for another season or two just to see out. But then players like De Bruyne, for me, he's too good a player to not be playing in the Champions League, even for a season. And at his age, he's even said, I think he's 28 now, he's not exactly 23, 24 anymore. He needs to be playing Champions League football. He's in my opinion, he is currently the best midfielder in world football. I don't think there's anyone that's better than De Bruyne, in my opinion, currently in his position. right now, I know Baka looks like he's in disagreement.
Pogba, Pogba.
But I think for someone like him, he could start in any team in world football, in my opinion. Barcelona are crying out for someone like him at the moment because they've not replaced Iniesta, they've not replaced Xavi. Not that it's easy to, but then even Liverpool, he is the one sort of player that Liverpool lack in terms of that creative spark. And so referring back to Coutinho, that's why I think Liverpool should go for him. But for me, De Bruyne, I can't. Players like that, they will think, and regardless of how much money you can offer to a player, I think at the end of the day, he's already rich, he's already making loads of money at City, he could probably get on the same wages at other big clubs. I think it's a no-brainer. If they get this ban, I think the likes of De Bruyne, maybe even Laporte, and a couple of others will probably leave, and there's nothing that Pep can say to stop them, in my opinion.
No, that's. I think for me personally, if Man City get this ban, it's just gonna be the best thing to happen to Liverpool. Genuinely, because who's gonna challenge Man City? The only team that can challenge Liverpool at the moment, realistically speaking, the closest to that is Chelsea, in my opinion. Given if they actually get the likes of Werner, Havertz,
with the signings,
if they get both of them, then you could, and potentially like Upamecano or whatever it may be, then you can put Chelsea in there. But no other team is even close to Liverpool. So bearing that in mind, back before I come to you, Nina, how do you feel about Man City potentially getting this ban?
I think you know your colleague that made really excellent point about players will want to leave. I think that's evident. I think also I'm sat there thinking Pep Guardiola is not exactly the loyal type, and I think even he will start reassessing his situation at Man City. I think it hits him quite hard because he was brought in, although they're
Oh, didn't we lost it there?
Champions League, and if he's got like a 2-year ban or a 3-year ban or whatever it is, that hinders him massively. He's going to look elsewhere. I think it hurts them really bad, and it does set them back quite a bit.
Yeah, no. Well, obviously, Pep notoriously has only won the Champions League with Messi, basically.
Yes,
So it says on his reputation. I know, Baka, you're a massive Pep fan. Don't kill me. So that's what it says on his CV at the moment. That's what people are saying. You can't do it that Messi. So without a shadow of a doubt, I think Pep might be the first one out the door. To be fair, because 2 years is he's a world-class manager. At the end of the day, there's going to be loads of teams after him. I'm assuming Barcelona might be interested.
But then again, he's never said that he wants to leave. He's
but he's not going to
stay.
Yeah, but I can't imagine
He's
not going to come out and say I want to leave as soon as they've just been given the ban. I just think it knocks him. His reputation will be on the line there in that sense. Right, we haven't got much time left, so I wanna get the score predictions in for the games coming back, and then I'm gonna get everyone to put their neck on the line and predict the top 4. Or should I say third and fourth spot, because I think the top 2 is inevitable, isn't it? Unless Liverpool completely bottle it, Nina, fingers crossed.
You know what? It'd just be typical, wouldn't it? No, it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. Sadly, if it was 10 points, I'd still have hope, I'd still be praying and all that good stuff, but it's not. There's no point. I'd be wasting my duas now, innit? Right, okay.
Yeah, save them for something else.
Yeah, exactly. Save it for something a bit better. Back we come to you. Villa v Chelsea first game. We're going to go around everyone, so just a quick score, because we've only got a couple of minutes.
3-1 Chelsea.
Okay, Kish, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, same 3-1 Chelsea.
Oh, he's bottled that. Nina, what do you reckon?
2-1.
Okay, well, I've bought Abraham on fantasy football for this game in particular. So if he doesn't bag a hat trick, I'm going to be fuming. So I'm gonna go 4-1 Chelsea. I've got Grealish as well, so hopefully he scores in it. Those fancy points. The big one, the Merseyside derby. Nina, we'll go to you first. Everton, Liverpool, the noisy neighbours.
Yeah, the bitters. They were actually going to bottle it at home. I'm going to go for Liverpool 3-0.
It depends if Pickford, has got his Liverpool shit on underneath, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Little Land.
Honest to God, he's got to be a Liverpool fan in disguise. Kish, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go for 1-1.
1-1? What?
Yeah, I feel first game back, I think to have that sort of rivalry game, I don't think the intensity is just going to be there straight away. Okay. And I do feel like Liverpool will start to get a bit nervous. Even though they'll win it comfortably, the league, I just think first game back, I think it's going to be iffy, especially a Merseyside derby.
All right, okay. Fair enough, interesting. I did ask for the score prediction, but thanks for the explanation. Backer, what do you reckon?
Liverpool beat Everton with little kids, and Klopp told them not to win. He says everything about Everton, so I think Liverpool will win the game 3-0.
Well, he told them not to beat Arsenal, and they beat them on penalties as well. I think they're going to get slapped, Everton. Obviously, Pickford's got more assists for Liverpool players than anyone else in the league, I think. So I'm going to go 4-0 Liverpool, you know. I might have to buy money in fantasy football. He absolutely hates Everton. He kills them every week. But we'll do one more game, and then we'll leave it there. We'll go for Manchester City, Burnley. What's the name? Back up. We'll come to you first.
Man City 4-1.
Like, where, Kish?
Man City 3-1.
3-1, and Nina?
I think momentum's going to be low. I think I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw here.
Wow. Wow, okay.
He really wants that league.
She really wants it. I mean, who's Liverpool's next game? Have they got Man City next, or who is it?
I think Crystal Palace will be up pretty soon.
Oh, Crystal Palace. Could it be another bottle of Crystal Palace?
They're the bogey team for Liverpool Palace.
They are indeed. I'm going to go for 5-0 Man City. If Burnley and Sean Dyche can leg it. The Beatles at Old Trafford. I almost cried that day when I was there, man. That was the worst day of my life. But anyways, that has been your show. We finally got Nina on after all the technical difficulties. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. We'll be back next week going through the scores. Thank you very much for all the guests, and we'll catch you in a bit. Peace.